What are we doing? What are we talking about?
What are we
What
talking about?
what are we talking about?
We're
We
talking
just
about
talking about your life. We just talking about your journey. But how is it that it's blessing us? You went from being a mortician to a counselor. It's is it like God had to humble you to understand the end result, to see the end first, and then be able to interact, if you will, with people that are in that space. Does that make sense? Is my
it
question making
does.
sense?
It does. So two things happened that where the Lord just really kind of was like, you're about to transition into something else. First thing he had to do was run me out of Atlanta. Okay. Because I wasn't gonna leave. And I had a personal crisis. So right before then, a close family member had a mental health crisis, and so we didn't know what to do. We had no frame of reference, and
Mm-hmm.
so I was like, listen, okay, I'm gonna go back to school because I have to advocate for my sister. It was my sister, so I was like, I have to advocate for her. So I ended up going back to get my master's in mental health counseling to help my sister,
Wow.
right? And so that happened. But a second thing happened. A lady that I had, I will never ever forget her, Mrs. Samuels. She passed away from a broken heart. We had buried her husband the year before, and a year later, she had passed away. And there was nothing wrong with her, no physical ailments, and it was natural causes. But we knew that she had died from a broken heart. So when those two things happened, I was like, it would be really cool if I was a mortician and a therapist, because I've never heard of anybody meshing these two
Mm-mm.
professions together. Like I'm probably one of the only that has a license in both of these things, right? So
Yes.
it'll be really cool for me to do that. So I did it, right? But in order for God to get me here, he literally had to put an APB out on me to get me out of Atlanta, Georgia. And he used loss, and he used um, a huge loss in my own personal life to get me out of Atlanta. Um, I was coming home from work. This was probably around 2012 or so. And I felt this, you know how you feel like an unction from the Holy Spirit, and it's like the thought just kind of came to my mind, you're gonna be leaving Atlanta soon. And I was like,
Oh yeah.
that's the devil. Because first of all, I got two good jobs. I got a house. I got my car. Like, he's up, A Town down. No,
Right.
I'm not leaving Atlanta. That ain't God. That I was like, whatever. And it was such a fleeting thought, but it was so real. Like, you finna leave. And I was like, man, that's the devil.
No.
Hell, if I tell you a year later, I'm coming home
Wow.
from work and I get into a car accident. This lady runs a stop sign and she T-bones me on my side. My car starts spinning, and I'm like this close to not running into a tree.
Oh
And
Lordy.
my car starts smoking. A man sees the accident. He comes and opens the door. I'm in shock. Ambulance come and get me. That car accident led to me losing my jobs, losing my home. And then the Lord said, "Remember, I told you you was gonna leave Atlanta." I said, you could have put it on a billboard sign. You ain't had to do this. Like
You
this
didn't have to
didn't
do that.
have to be the
You
thing.
could have told
Like
me
it
one more
was
time. I was gonna listen, but you didn't have to do
one.
that.
I needed one time. But those incidences led
What?
me to leave Atlanta, and I ended up going to Raleigh, North Carolina. And I feel like that was my backside of the desert experience.
Mm,
That God, just the way God used Jethro's house to send Moses to prepare him to be able to lead a nation. He needed the backside of the desert to be
right.
able to practice so that when God got him out and he put him in the front to lead the people, that he would know exactly what to do. If God is leading you to the backside of the desert, that's because you are about to lead something out of a desert. So while you are trying to in some way avoid the desert and you don't want to go there, and he's been calling you and telling you you need to move and you need to get to where you need to go, he's trying to prepare you. He's giving you a practice before the finale. So welcome your desert experience. Get in there. The faster you get in there, the quicker it'll be over so you can get ready to come out. Okay. But you keep fighting the desert. And God needs the desert so that he can show you a new side of who he
He
is.
is.
You need to listen. He had to put his hand over Moses' eyes so he wouldn't see his face. But I'm going to show you a different side of me so you can see that I can work from different angles. You're the only one that's stuck in the angle of it has to look the way that I need it to look. God says he's multifaceted. He has multiple sides, and he needs to show you a different side of himself so he can introduce you to a different part of yourself. Moses never would have known that he was who he was had he not gone to Jethro's house. So go to Jethro's house. Stop avoiding Jethro's house and get to the desert, right? So Riley, North Carolina was my desert. Girl, I couldn't make a friend. Listen, I couldn't find no friends. I couldn't find a church. I was like, what are you doing? Like, what did I do to deserve this? I'm just trying to. And he says, listen, I'm sending you to Raleigh to walk through the desert because I'm about to send you to Dallas. And I need you to do some things in Dallas that you're not prepared to do yet. And Atlanta was stifling your growth. So I had to get you into the desert, away from your people, away from the folks you knew, away from what was familiar, away from what you just absolutely knew you could do, because I'm about to take you into something that you don't know what you're going to do now. Because you're not going to go to Dallas to be a mortician. You're not going to go to Dallas to be a funeral director. You're going to go to Dallas to be a therapist. And I need, here it is.
Girl, this
I
is
need to switch because see, listen, Moses, you are a Hebrew, but you were raised as an Egyptian. And I need to change your nationality. And I can only do that in the wilderness. I need to get the Egyptian out of you so that I can reignite the Hebrew in you so you can connect to the people that I'm sending you to. So God literally had to change the mortician. He had to rearrange her because he needed her to be a therapist. And I had to get the mortician out of me in the desert so that when I came here, I could accept the new identity and I wouldn't feel like I was losing something so that I could do what he wanted me to do. I don't know who that's for. You
it
can
was
say,
for me.
yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But that's what that desert was. That God had to shift my identity. He had to shift the identity so that I could be ready to be who he needed me to be in Dallas. And that was a therapist.